Alright guys, so it's Reece Williams here, back with you for another video, and you're used to seeing me in front of the camera, but today I'm behind the camera. And you've probably clicked on this video to see the restoration or how to restore or renovate your fingerboard, and I've got all the materials here and I'm going to show you guys how to renovate or restore your beloved old fingerboard. As you can see, this fingerboard's a little bit messed up. It's a cowply newspaper, I think it was a C3 C2 deck, and there's no nut, no washer, the wheels off, and it's just a little bit messed up. But I've got all the tools here to fix it, and I'm going to show you guys what you'll need if you want to restore one of your fingerboards. So you're going to need tape. Tape's for taking all the dust off your grip. As you can see there, it's very dusty. Or if you want to put on new grip, you're going to need new grip, maybe a file if you have one, but you don't really need a file. You can use the edge of a scissors to just like scrape it off, so scissors is fine. And then you're going to need earbuds to clean up old bearings because they do get very dirty. You'd be very surprised. New pivot cups, this little black stuff fits into there right on the truck, and that's what makes your board turn really nicely, and it's a pivot cup, so it makes it pivot really nicely. Maybe a spare fingerboard with some old trucks in it you can take off, use the nuts and bolts. Like this one I don't like very much, and if I did want to take this grip off, I could always put this grip on top. And you'll need a tool, so obviously to get all your nuts and your trucks off and screws. And then I've got some spare trucks here with actually riser pads. I don't know if you can see that properly. So some riser pads, some old trucks with no nuts on top, but luckily we've got nuts and all the screws down here. And yeah, let's get into this video and start restoring everything, because this is all the stuff that you'll need. Alright, so first things first, I've removed those dirty trucks off. As you can see, that axle is actually pretty bent and we've got no nut on there. And I've removed this one. This one's actually got a nut on there, and as you can see, these blue little bushings I actually made myself. So if you guys would like to see a video on how to make custom bushings like this or this red one, make sure to leave a comment down below and I will make a video on how to do custom bushings. But I have got some tissues, I forgot to mention that. This is just to wipe down the board. You can use a little bit of water if you want. It's just you want to be working with a clean board so you can restore it nicely, because dirt does accumulate on fingerboards, surprisingly. Now that you have wiped all that dirt off the bottom of your deck, you're gonna want to grab a piece of sticky tape, put it on your board and just gently sort of pat it down like this. So I moved some of the stuff, but gently pat it down. And when I take the sticky tape off, you'll see how clean this side becomes. Look at all that dirt that came off. I think that's actually half of my grip, but anyway, it is old grip. But as you can see, look at that comparison. That's dirty with dust and that's nice and clean. That feels so grippy and that feels very slippery and dusty. So then repeat that to the other side. Alright, so now that you have your desired trucks, if you've just taken them off another board or customized them and just put a hanger onto another base plate, put those aside and make sure that you have your wheels out on the ground like this, because if you have old wheels, they do seem to move forward. As you can see, this bearing has moved forward. That little metal bit there is meant to be all the way moved back, so you can put it on the table, get your tool, stick it middle, and you hear that little pop. That's the bearing that's popped back into place. So you're going to want to do that with all wheels and then put them back onto your trucks. So now that your bearings are popped back in, grab an ear cleaner, pick off the end and just roll up the end like a little axle basically. It's going to be like really sharp at the end, and then stick it through your bearing and then just twist. And this is how you're going to clean your bearings, because sometimes your bearings get dirty and they won't roll properly. So do this to every wheel and then put them back onto your trucks. Alright, so now after you got your trucks on, you're going to want to start cleaning the outer bits of the wheel. As you can see, it's got a lot of gunk on there, but I'll show you quickly. If if you can see how dirty the end of that is, that's actually from your bearings, and that can stop your bearings when they're really dirty, so that means they're clean now. So what you want to do to clean this is actually get your nail and with your other finger twist the wheel and sort of do like a little scraping action on the wheel. Do that to all wheels, and then I want you to come back and then unscrew this main bolt, take the hanger off, and then we're gonna reinstall bushings, make new ones, or put in new pivot cups. So now that your trucks are on your board, I forgot to mention that, I actually put some riser pads there so it can pop a bit better, because this board is a bit of a lower board, so if the riser pads, it should be a bit better. Alright, so now that you have your hangers off, as you can see on this little bit here, there is this piece of black. So if I take that off, that is actually an old pivot cup there that is broken. So what you want to do is actually fit this little bit of black over there, over like the spiky bit of your hanger, and then you'll see how much it goes over. Then you're going to want to grab your scissors and cut off the bit for your pivot cup, and that bit just went flying away. I've cut a bit of a bigger bit, I might chop that in half actually. So now that you have that in half, you can throw that over your hanger. And for your deck, when you're putting your trucks on, it's alright if you only have 3 bolts in each side, or even 2, but you'd have to do them diagonal to each other. But it's alright if you don't have enough bolts, and they will still work. So just have your trucks on, and now it's going to be looking a bit more complete. So if you want to reinstall some fresh grip just like this, you're going to want to start peeling from the top and just start peeling that grip off. And if you peel that off carefully enough, you can actually get it into pieces, because I cut this grip into some really funky shapes like triangles. I made it into all different patterns. So if you can get it off well, you can actually reuse that for another fingerboard if your grip's still okay. But if not, you can just chuck it. You may be thinking my board looks a little bit weird. These 2 top bearing wheels are CNC leathered bearing wheels, so they don't collect dust and they're very smooth when you're sliding around in the ground. And these 2 are just 2 cheap, I think they're China bearing wheels. But now just remove all your grip and I'll show you guys how to put on a fresh sheet of grip. Alright, so I have taken off the grip and now I'm going to show you how to apply grip. There's always little bits of extra hangover that you get, so I like to cut that off and use it as little stoppers for like obstacles. And I did put the grip onto the other side of this, but you're going to want to start to peel this grip off, and you can use a file, but I think that it gives it a more professional look if you actually use scissors to file it down. And you can put a little grip gap if you want. I actually am going to have a grip gap now because I did cut this grip a little bit too low, so I'm just going to have one just above the middle. So I'll apply this, perfect. And then you'll see you've got little bits of edge that hang over. So what you want to do is grab your scissors and put it right up against that little hangover edge bit and sort of push down, and you're going to want to do that a fair bit and sort of angle it so you're like that, because that's what's going to sort of scrape that grip off. So keep doing that and you will hear that little bit of scraping sound. That's totally normal, and your scissors will get a little bit black after this. So just keep doing that all around. It's pretty simple, and I reckon that the scissors give it a really professional look. So I'll be back once I get this grip job on. So after you've finished cleaning up your board, it should look like this, and it'll look really professional and clean. And look at the big difference from when we did start. It looks so much more professional. We've got the pivot cup, the bearings are clean, wheels are clean. Then you've got the riser pad, new fresh grip, always looks good. And I guess that I'll do a few tricks after I outro this video. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's probably going to be titled like 5 easy steps to renovate as fingerboard, or how to renovate a fingerboard. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe by hitting the subscribe button down below, and make sure to leave a comment on what you think of the fresh look of my fingerboard. So I'll leave you with a few clips, the first tricks on this fingerboard, and until next time guys, this has been Reece Williams. Peace.